Welcome back, CEO teachers, to my favorite day of the year. This is our roundtable discussion. If you don't know what that is, this is when we gather up some of our biggest success stories to share a little bit of the insight of how they got to where they are and how they can give you inspiration to be the best version of you that you can be. I know for me, every time I leave a roundtable discussion and get to hear the stories of the people that matter most to me in life, each and every one of you, I leave just fulfilled and dedicated and motivated and ready to inspire whoever I can after that. And so a lot of our coaches that were on our coaching call after this call said, Casey, I am on fire after listening to these people. One of these people have made over $1 million. Another one has one of the most successful memberships that we've had out of our students. We have different teachers that speak multiple languages that we're going to share with you today. And, it's just so beautiful to see this robust and diverse world of teachers all across the globe. One of our teachers that we're going to share today is from Australia and Colombia, and it's really hard for me to not stop and just say thank you every second of every day to each of you that have believed in yourself to chase this dream of knowing your worth and really believing that you were meant for this. And you may get tired of hearing me say that, but I'm never going to stop because teachers deserve so much. I believe that we are called. I believe that teachers are like healers, just like doctors and lawyers. We are called to teach future generations. And what beautiful gift is it that we can now do that in a way that we haven't ever been able to do that before. That is the future of education, my friends. And so I want to share this with you because the doors are open to the CEO teacher membership. This is our pathway to success. Our teachers are using one of 10 different pathways to make money online. All of the ones that you hear today have been in our programs for a while, and I want to invite you to join us. Now, the doors are only open for a few short days. If you're listening to it the day that it airs on Wednesday, March the 6th, the doors will close on Saturday. So I want to make sure that you get in while you can. If you go to caseymorris.com/join, you can join us right now. But remember, the doors will close and you cannot get in our membership until the end of 2024. So if you're looking for a way first out of the classroom, if you're not happy there, or if you're looking for just a way to make a couple extra dollars a month, I promise you, this is the world's only online business school. And we have a proven track record for success, a business school for teachers made by teachers. We cannot wait to have you become our next success story. And who knows, maybe you'll be on our roundtable at the end of 2024. I believe your best is yet to come. Don't miss this opportunity to join us inside of the membership. Go to caseymorris.com/join, and I'll see you on the inside. Teachers, if I'm being honest, we get what we tolerate. Think about it. You've been taught to tolerate this standard for your life. And I want to hit you with an incoming truth bomb. Teachers are leveraging their knowledge so that they no longer have to tolerate this life that is written out for them by having a teaching degree. In fact, they are becoming self-made millionaires every single day. Why not you? Why not today? Let's start right now. And they're doing it without extra degrees, without increasing their student loan debt. They are learning how to stop making lesson plans for just their classroom and start making income. Put what they know, their knowledge and their power into sharing things online as a teacher. I want to introduce to you the 6 proven steps to building an online teacher business. We're going to fast track your income for your future and your family. And it all starts right now. Teachers work so hard, and I want to make sure that you are finally making your worth. Grab your spot in this exclusive live webinar right now by going to caseymorris.com/webinar. That's KAYSEMORRIS.com/webinar, because I want you to skip the traditional path. I want you to stop tolerating the life that you were supposed to live, because the future of education is bright, friends. This is our moment. This is our me moment of all time. This is when we finally take matters into our own hands as teachers, and we stop making excuses. We add action to the dreams that we've been hiding in the depths of our hearts and our souls, and we take over the world one teacher at a time. Most teachers are working more than 40 hours a week, but not anymore. You don't have to work so hard for so little. Let me show you a new way. Go to caseymorris.com/webinar. This only happens a few times a year, and it's not going to happen again until next school year. You don't want to miss it. Come join us for our live training, caseymorris.com/webinar. Hi, welcome so much to Teacher TV. Oh my gosh, it looks a little different than it's been looking in the past couple weeks. This is probably my favorite day of the entire year. Welcome to our roundtable of our amazing CEO teachers. We're calling tonight's Teacher TV From Markers to Marketing. We usually go live about 10 minutes before so we can get the conversation started, but we had all of these amazing teachers with us tonight, and we wanted to make sure that we could have them all here. So we're starting right on time, but please come on in. And I hope tonight you get a lot of value. What we're going to talk about is how these teachers started their journey of becoming a CEO teacher and really working towards making extra income. These are some of our biggest success stories. These are some of our brightest students, and it has been such a joy and an honor to watch their journeys over the last couple of years. They have brought so much good energy to our membership, and it's funny to me because I can always tell in the first time maybe not the first time I meet them, but normally the first couple of interactions that I have with some of the students, I'm like, oh, they got it. They got that thing that they're ready to, they're hungry for it. They really want it. And I can tell you, I felt that way about each and every person you're going to hear from tonight. And I want to let these amazing teachers introduce themselves. And what I want each one of them to chat about is just to tell you a little bit about their name, who they are, and why they started their teacher business in the first place, or what motivated them to want to start making extra income online. But before we do that, I wanted to tell you guys, we're going to be doing one webinar a day for a couple of days, and they will be live. And we only do this a few times a year. We hope to see you there. If you go to caseymorris.com/webinar, it's the 6 steps, the 6 proven steps to starting an online teacher business, where you can fast track your financial freedom and your future for your family. So France, I'm going to start with you. Let's tell everyone a little bit about you and your journey to get to where you are today.
Hi, everyone. My name is France. I'm French-Canadian in Quebec, Canada. And I started my online business when I was working for a major publishing house over here in Quebec. I was just adapting the material, and I was suggesting ideas, and they were not running with them. So I did. So I'm so glad to be here tonight with you guys.
I'm so happy that you're here.
So hi, everybody. My name is Claudia Elliott. I am from Colombia, but I teach Spanish in the United States. And I think teacher business found me. It was more that story. I didn't know anything. And then people started asking me what I was doing in my class. And somebody mentioned Casey's podcast, and I found it. And I say, oh, there may be something for me. And that's how I started. And I built a membership now. But I think teacher business found me. It knocked on my door and I opened.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Nash, and I'm a mom of 4 from Kentucky. I actually started my teacher business on Teachers Pay Teachers in 2012, I believe. Very unsuccessfully. So I had it for about 8 years and was making like $3 to $4 a month to maybe $75 a month until I found Casey.
And she's killing it now.
And my name's Tam, and I'm from Australia, Sydney, Australia. And I kind of resonate with what everyone's saying, particularly Claudia. I feel like my business kind of found me. I was just sharing teaching ideas on my Instagram, Mrs. Learning Bee, and started getting requests for resources for teachers in their classroom. And so it kind of snowballed from there. And I now have a membership called The Hive. But yeah, it just started with me sharing what I was doing in the classroom on Instagram.
And all of these teachers will drop the links to where you can find them too, so that way you feel a little bit more connected to them. But just a quick look at how diverse, our membership is having all of these amazing people there. But, it all starts back to when you were a teacher in the classroom. And I think that we all can relate when we say that we felt a little undervalued, perhaps, and sometimes, always underpaid. But what was that thing? Like, what was that one thing, Stephanie, if you were going to share about, like, what forced you to say, you know what, I really want this extra income? You said you had 4 kids. I really want to make my worth and kind of just share my resources online. Like, did you have a turning point or a defining moment that made you feel that way?
I did. So I taught for 13 years before leaving the classroom, and I loved my job. I love teaching. I was teacher of the year twice. It was wonderful, but it seemed like every single year it just got harder and harder, and the students were more challenging, and we didn't have the resources that we needed. We actually got a new principal at my school, and that school year, I was kicked. I had pencils thrown at me. I was stabbed with pencils. My curtains were ripped off of my wall. I mean, it was really bad. It was to the point where I was crying every day going home. And I knew that there had to be something more. I knew I didn't want to live like this forever. And so I was just determined to figure out, like, what are all these people doing? I saw all these people on Teachers Pay Teachers making this money, and I knew, like, I saw some of my resources, and I'm like, I can do that too. I don't know what they're doing. So yeah, that was my turning point.
And that was 12 years ago, you said?
13 years ago, yeah.
13 years ago. Wow. Wow. All right, Claudia, what about you? What made you decide? I know that you have a very unique thing that you sell online. And so what made you decide I can actually make money from this?
For me, it was very kind of different than Stephanie. I love to be in the classroom. I think I have been super lucky to have a admin that loves me, teachers colleagues that really support me, students who, like, I don't know, like, I love and relate and connect. So I've been super lucky. But then in 2019, I went to a state conference and I did training. And at the end of the training, a teacher came to me like in tears, and she said, thank you. Thank you, because of what you shared made me want to stay. And at that point, I just really felt like an urge to, like, I want to share with more teachers. I want to get teachers to stay in the classroom. I want teachers to be teaching French and Spanish and Italian. And love that, because I think it's so important for the society to be multilingual. So for me, it was more like I need to amplify my voice, right? Like, I do great in my class, I need more. How can I get this and do it more with more teachers? And I mean, like, my dream is to be like in a big, a stage with 5,000 teachers. And I really want to share my experience. So that's how I started. And then, I found you and I said, oh, there is a system. So I had my passion and I knew that I had something to share. I just didn't know how. And that is how, like, all the pieces start, being put together.
That's so good. I want to buy all your resources just from listening to that story. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Tam, what about you? You're in Australia. Things are a little bit different there than they are here in the States. So what did that look like to you?
Yeah, look, I think things are different, but things are the same as well. And I think, the issues that teachers face are common across the world. And, I felt like I had always wanted to be a teacher from, 5 years old. I felt like it was my calling. And so it was a really hard decision for me to not be in the classroom anymore. But similar to what Claudia was saying, I was having teachers telling me, I have a really big focus on evidence-based literacy. And I was having teachers saying, your resources are really helping me in the classroom to make a real difference in the lives of kids. And I realized that I could actually have more of an impact beyond the four walls of my classroom by going full time. And so that was a really scary decision. And I left the classroom just over 2 years ago. But I feel like I've been able to make this impact in the lives of students here in Australia, but also, lots of US teachers use my resources as well. And it's always like a pinch me moment every time I see one of my things that I've created being used in classrooms around the world. But yeah, I just sort of felt like I could make more of an impact kind of once I'd left the classroom.
Yeah, and I think that's so important too. And that's kind of a commonality that we all share, that people, you don't necessarily see whenever you're a classroom teacher, right? You think that the children that you teach, which are so important, like you're just so limited to them each year. But the reality is that the future of education looks completely different from that. And France, I know that was one of your driving forces, is the types of resources that you sold. They were nowhere to be found online, and you found such quick success. Can you tell everybody kind of why you decided to start selling resources too?
Yeah, sure. Unlike Stephanie and Tam, I am still in the classroom, if I can say that. I'm a pedagogical consultant. So my it factor was technology, those digital games, audio games in French. So, and since when I joined the membership, that's really when I understood the importance to niche down and stay in your lane. And that's what I did. And I am alone in my field. I was alone in my field 10 years ago. I also, like Stephanie, started back in 2013 on Teachers Pay Teachers. So yeah, but since then there is a few more competitors that came along, but that's really a market very, very niche down. And yeah, there's a big need for French immersion students also, students from immigration and French core, and voila.
Yes. She said niche and I say niche, but we say there's riches in the niches from in the South because Napoleon Hill talks about specialized knowledge inside of his book Think and Grow Rich. And so that's something that each of these teachers we really wanted to highlight was how unique each of them do what they do. And so if you're watching this tonight, I want you to remember that the experience you have is so specific that you also have a specific niche or niche that no one else in the world has. The experience that you have, even from being a student teacher or if you've been teaching for 20 years, is so unique. I mean, we have teachers of the year here. Stephanie said she was a teacher of the year. I never got teacher of the year. And so now she gets to use just all the things that she did in her classroom online. But I want to go back to when you guys first started. So I don't know like your timeline of events, but I know that Stephanie did say that she started like 12, 13 years ago. And I just know from her charts and her graphs that things were not smooth sailing in the beginning. And so can we talk about, I think a lot of people, they are hesitant to start an online business because they think I'm going to have it all figured out and I'm going to make money immediately, which is not always the case, especially back then, but it could be the case now. So Stephanie, can you share since you started your journey when you first got started?
When I first got started, like I said, I kind of thought that I would put resources on there and, make millions. And that didn't happen. But like I said, I knew that there was something that I was missing. I just didn't know what it was. I guess I was using my resources back then was like Microsoft Word. My covers weren't square covers. So there were so many different things that I've learned along the way. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It was just bad. It was just bad at first, but I've just learned a lot year by year.
And Tam, I know that you guys excel in technology. France also does as well. But Tam, you and your husband are a dynamic duo. I would say you own an amazing company that I can't. You said you left the classroom 2 years ago, and I feel like it's been 10 years, honestly. But when you first got started, did it look that good?
No way. I still remember when I sold my first product on TPT and I would have made like 30 cents. And I was so excited because I can remember exactly where I was when I sold that. And it was very slow for a very long time. But I think for me, the reason that we've then had success with our membership was because I'd spent a lot of time building a community on Instagram and building that know, like, trust factor that I know you talk a lot about, Casey. And yeah, so people, once I was then launching this membership, people knew me. They knew that the resources that I created were quality and that they were evidence-based and they were ready to come on the next kind of phase of the journey with me. It does help that my husband is a software developer, so he's very handy that I can kind of say these things that as teachers we wish existed, and he's like, oh yeah, we can do that, we can create that, we can make that app or that organizational tool. And yeah, it's mind-blowing what he can do. So I mean, I have had that to help me as well, let's be real.
France, what about you?
So also, like the ladies have mentioned before, the TPT tramway is a long route. And when I found the membership, that's really when all the possibility that were at my finger touch opened. So I built that list. I had not gotten a big email list. So I built that list. When Casey got into my life 4 years ago, it was pandemia, COVID time. And that opened all my horizon. We talk about lead magnet and funnels and conversion rate. And whoa, I thought I knew how to market my products, but that took it to another level. So that really changed.
And what I was going to say when Tam was talking, I have a membership too, and I do sell resources in TPT and I do trainings too. But I think for me, I cannot let all the things overwhelm me because there's a ton. And I think every month I feel like there is one more thing. And every stage, I just started in 2019. I opened my membership in 2021. And there is so much that I'm still don't grasp. But I think for me, a couple of the things that really opened my eyes was first that there is a system, that there is a framework. There is not like, this amount of things, that there is a system. But then two things that Casey said, and she said, You want to share 80% for free and you can charge for the 20%. And that 80% has to be so good. And I think I relate to Tom. I remember that when COVID came, I was in my Facebook group sharing for free live every single week. Like I didn't know how to do a social media post. I didn't have an Instagram account. I didn't know like the difference between a group or a page. Like I didn't have a clue. I just show up. Like I did this in my class and it worked today. And that was the only thing that I didn't know a lot and I still don't know a ton, but I knew that I wanted to share. So that was the first thing. And then another thing for me, it was seeing a membership inside. Like see what it is, see what it takes, see kind of like the example is like, like a mom with a kid, like sometimes you just don't say all the things to your children, but you act, you like, deliver content, you serve your people. And I think for me, it was that example that has been able to have for me trying to create my membership. Right now, like I have almost 250 teachers and it's been growing every single year. And it's just understanding that we are serving and yes, the funnel and the email marketing and all that will just someday will happen. Someday all that will happen. But I think as long as I'm serving, I think I will have a business. And I think that is what being in a community is, seeing other people doing it. And it's kind of like the example that I try to follow in my own business.
Thank you so much for bringing up some of what I think can be more valuable than the how-to and the 1, 2, 3. And I think there are many secrets to life, but if I know anything, and if I've learned a lot over the last 10 years, one of them is very true. The more you give, the more you get. And so I think that's with life, as far as in your relationships and in your business. But I have such undeniable proof that the more I show up and give things away for free, I'm not saying you should give everything that you do for free. I don't teach that strategy. I'm talking about your heart of service, which is what teachers do, right? Is showing up and showing out every day that you can, because the more you give, the more you get. She said, share 80% of the content you have for free and charge for the other 20%. And ladies, I'm just curious if you also follow that method and if you have found that the more you give in your business, maybe the more you get, not only like spiritually and like that feel good feeling on the inside, but financially as well.
I've definitely experienced that. And that's definitely a lesson I've learned from you as well, Casey. I feel like I've just tried to give so much value over the years through my Instagram and trying to upskill teachers and share with them the things that I'm learning. And I love showering my audience with freebies and, just giving them so much. And then I agree. I think once you've done that and you've built that know, like, trust factor, they think, well, if this is what she's giving away for free, then what am I going to find within that membership? And people then also have that ability that opportunity to then see what you can create and learn to trust that. So yeah, absolutely. It's something I've definitely lived by.
Moving on to like some strategies and stuff. France, I love that you brought up, she said that she got inside of our membership and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm learning all of these things, which she gave some advanced strategies. As teachers, we think, let's just sell our lesson plans. I think we think that's the end all, right? Is that's what we're going to do is sell on TPT. But as many of these people mentioned, they do a lot more than just sell on Teachers Pay Teachers. In fact, that's just one of the 10 success paths inside of our membership. But our membership is like Netflix for teachers. It is basically a full-blown business school. I believe it's the best business school in the whole world, especially at the most affordable price. But it teaches you step-by-step things that you probably didn't know before. So France, you mentioned like funnels and you talked about email marketing and you started to build your list. Do you think that all of those things were needed for you to find success? Or do you think you probably could have just Googled it and figured it all out anyways?
Maybe I could have Googled it, but the way the Netflix, like you just mentioned, is built in the CEO teacher membership, I am still digesting what I got 4 years ago. I am still tweaking. I am still growing. And if there's one thing I'd like to also say out loud is that maybe you're going to see other offers that could seem similar out there. So I'm just going to advise if somebody's listening now that's hesitating to join, take Casey and focus on what she's saying and don't just gather information, gather a little bit and go do. come back and gather more and go do some more. So yeah, the email list, it really is the secret sauce, Casey.
Good to know. Good to know. Stephanie, what about you? And I like that you said, could I have Googled it? Maybe. And there are a lot of things that maybe you could Google, but the problem is that you don't know what you don't know, right? And so if you don't know which pathway to take, it's really hard to Google things. And then you might Google them and find a lot of variations of how to do it. And I love that Fran said, and this is not, even if you don't choose me and my membership, this is like the secret to life as well, is that you really have to pick somebody to follow and some pathway to follow, because I believe when you copy people's cadence, especially people that have been successful, you learn and you grow faster. And so being able to replicate not only my success, but also the thousands of teachers that are in our program, they're getting there a lot faster than I got there. It took me a long time to get to where I am. And Stephanie, I know you're one of those students who have hit one of our largest milestones, and I can't even talk about it because it'll make me cry. But what would you think is like the reason behind why you found so much success?
I think I've found a lot of success because of your framework. I feel like I can run any business. I feel like if teaching went away tomorrow, I could go and run a salon. I will go get my hair done, and I kid you not, they will ask me about marketing, and they'll ask me about funnels, and they'll ask me about an email list. And I go get massages, and she will ask me about an opt-in because like I love talking about it so much. And I've literally learned all of that in your membership. And it's funny because like it continues to serve over and over and over again. So not just with TPT, I've found tons of success on TPT. It's changed my life, but you always want to continue to grow. And so I'm just released the membership actually like 2 days ago, not to the masses yet, but if you're on my Instagram or my email list, you'll probably be seeing it tomorrow. But I was able to go back to the membership and kind of take everything back in again, things that I listened to and I watched before, but they weren't very meaningful to me then because I wasn't there yet. But and there's more in there that I haven't even like been able to use yet because I just haven't needed it yet. So it just continues to serve, and I truly believe that I could run any business because of this.
I'm living for that comment because that's the goal. That was the goal from the beginning, is that, and what's funny is that some of our teachers come in and now they're real estate agents and they've actually changed their entire way of living because teachers are great. Well, I'm a little partial, but I believe teachers are great at anything. I believe they have a gift. They have a gift that is a God-given gift of really helping people, like healers. I believe teachers are in that exact same category. And so loving that you feel like you can help anyone. And that's what I want. That's the ripple effect of what the membership does. But Tam, I want you to talk about community for a second. You run a very successful membership, so you understand, thousands of teachers are inside of your membership. So you understand the importance of building a community of teachers that feel like they can like come together and how we truly lift each other up. How important has the community been for you?
Look, I think my favorite part of the membership has been coming to the coaching calls and not only learning from you, but from all of the other business owners as well and other teachers. And that's something that we've really tried to then replicate with our own members in having just building that sense of community and that sense of family, because, teachers aren't just another number to us. They're a really important part of why we do what we do, and we're wanting to make a difference in their lives. And that's what I've sort of felt from your membership as well, is that you come to those calls and you feel like, okay, like I'm in the right place. I'm learning from everyone, and we've all got each other's backs. And I think you go into the Facebook group and everyone's supporting everyone's successes, and it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I was just recently at a mastermind, and besides you guys, I haven't really been in a room or a setting with people who energetically felt the same way about life that I felt. And it's unique because you can be, you are the sum of the people you hang around. And although people don't want to believe that, it's so true. People are either going to bring you up or they're going to tear you down. Sometimes you can meet them in the middle, but what's beautiful is when everyone is on the same journey, building each other up, you have nowhere to go but up. You really only have the option to get better than you were yesterday. And I think that has been such a beautiful dynamic. France, especially, you've been around probably the longest, and you've continued to build a community with our teachers. What do you think about that?
Yes, the Facebook group, the community, when you have a question, it feels so reassuring to just ask away. There's so many great advice you can get in the group. And I know the team of Casey's team is also in the community group. The community makes you feel like you're not alone late at night working full time, raising the kids, cooking, doing all the things, and building a family, because it's hard work, guys. It's hard work.
It is. Ladies, thank you so much for spending your Thursday evening with all of us. From the bottom of my heart, it has been my pleasure to chat with each of you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.